Daddy
right.
needs a break.
Daddy needs a
Jesus
break.
Christ.
Prepare yourself. This is the Bottom Dead Center Show, presented by OSMT.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to our final surprise end of the year. Congratulations, you made it. You've put up with us 3 seasons in a row. Episode of Bottom Dead Center here on the Old School Monster Trucks YouTube channel. We teased you last week, told you we might have a little more something up our sleeve, and as it turns out, we did because we had an excellent interview, of course, with Gene Patterson last week to sort of formally close out our season. But talking amongst ourselves and with the rest of the gang, that kind of make up our OSMT group, there was just so many more topics we needed to touch on and catch you guys up on what we've been up to, mainly what these two guys have been up to. My life's a little more predictable than these guys' but we just wanted to have a little bullshit session, call it a round tire discussion about nothing on the old workbench table as we're hanging out in the garage, so to speak. So pretend we're in a garage, pretend we're all together. Pretend it's not a Tuesday night and I'm drinking a non-alcoholic Coors because I still got a lot of week to get through over here. You know what I mean? But welcome back, Matt and Frank. Good to see you guys again as always. And man, first off, before we start doing a little, what have you been up to? How cool does it feel, man? We've crossed. We're through the semifinals. It feels like now we made it through round one, round two, semis. We're heading for the finals, I guess, in this size of a bracket. But feels good, man. Season three, we've just like season two, we had a couple sad moments along the way with somber topics, but overall, I think we had a pretty kick-ass season here on Bottom Dead Center.
Yeah, absolutely. The guests that mostly you guys have been able to wrangle up, awesome. I feel like just glad to be a part of it, to be honest.
Well, Kyle, just like what you said, the first round is the hardest round to get through. Once you get past there, it's house money, and that's pretty much what we're working with now. It's like we've gotten to a certain point now where it's so much fun every episode we do, and the guests we've had have been just outstanding, and so I can't wait to see where it's going to keep going, how far it's going to go, because we've had some surprises, and just like you talked about, it just keeps getting better and better. And I'm looking forward to what's ahead. I mean, it's what's behind us has already been great, but what's going to be ahead is going to be awesome.
So I'm not gonna lie, it was out of respect and sadness. Of course, I rewatched the Dave Bennett episode a couple times after we very unexpectedly and sadly lost him, just weeks after we had him on the show. But from a fun standpoint, I can't stop going back to our Mike Wreck and Mitch Drops episode, from T Rex Monster Truck, Granite City Crusher, and the Dan Patrick episode. I mean, both of those were just an absolute hoot. And every time this year we've made a joke about making sure you're not mic'd up when you go to the pisser. Mitch is texting me, damn, dude, I feel, you're just taking shots at me. I was like, no, dude, you produced one of like, none of the talent on this show could have produced a segment as good as what he did on accident there, I feel like.
And also to ripping a heater during the
Yeah.
show. That's
Yeah.
also
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
that's first
Yeah.
heater on the end of the show.
It's like the
Yeah. I
70s,
think you're
like
right.
it's like the 70s radio DJ. The recording light comes on and out comes a lung
Yeah.
dart, and here we go. Yeah, we're on the air. It's WFUK, Des Moines, Tri-City area. Welcome. I am totally not a retired mobster on witness protection hosting late night radio in the Midwest. That's all right. So, anyways, how about ABBA?
Hard
You guys like
rock,
ABBA? I'm on
hard
the wrong
dudes.
station. All right. We got an ABBA joke in this season. That's great. So yeah, I think we ought to spin around the room a little bit and kind of catch everybody up on what we've been up to. For my part, if I can start selfishly, so the best thing that I want to share with everybody, I can't share yet, but I will tell you this. A couple of us at OSMT here that do, and myself included, do some of the writing, let's say, and some of the research stuff. Part of our anarchivist group, Justin Mosinger, him and I were approached with a pretty interesting idea, pretty interesting opportunity several weeks ago, and we've been slowly mapping that out and seeing what it holds. But we're hoping by the end of the summer, we will have a really exciting announcement to make, regarding a project that we're trying to put together. So more to come on that. It's going to involve us really digging deep into some stuff and hopefully crowdsourcing some photos and memories and contributions from around the industry and things like that. So I can't really tease too much more, beyond that just yet, but I had to get a little of that out there. It was so exciting. And then man, I would say, you guys have been in shows and stuff. I've gone to some shows too, but it wasn't monster trucks. In my case, I had the really good fortune. I hadn't been to a rock show in like a year, which I feel embarrassed saying that because going to rock shows is like a big deal to me and my best friend Eric and my daughters and everything. And I guess all the good bands we like must not have been on tour for a while, but I hit three in a row. And we've got a great theater here in Cheyenne, which Cheyenne's, to give you guys out there that, don't own a map or don't know or care, understandably, where Cheyenne is, we're only like 90 minutes north of Denver. So we're so close to Denver that when big touring bands do the contract with the promoters where it's like the 90-90 thing or whatever, you can't perform within 90 miles within 90 days or 100
Yep.
deals, however the promoter structure them. So even though there's bands I like that play Denver or Boulder or Fort Collins, they can't always really play Cheyenne on their tour because we're too close. So we've got a great theater here in town, and the owners of that theater are friends of mine. They've done a great job turning it into a primo concert venue, and they're starting to land some bigger gigs. Not my cup of tea, but they've had Ice Cube play a couple times. Wiz Khalifa's coming up later this month. The night we're recording right now tonight, Lord Huron is playing, which would have been cool to go to, certainly. But anyways, I caught the Coffin Cats and Carrie Nation in the Speakeasy, which I was not super familiar with those bands. I knew the Coffin Cats from being a Social Distortion fan, but it was incredible. There was not even an electric bass guitar in the building. Everybody played the big, upright double bass. And dude, these guys were twirling them, and the guitar player and the bass player are chucking their instruments back and forth at each other. I mean, if you thought the guys in the Moody Blues throwing drumsticks back and forth across each other was cool, this shit was unreal. So I took my oldest daughter to that. And then Frank appears to have been abducted by aliens here.
Oh
That's
no,
okay.
I'm still here. Don't worry, I'm still
Okay.
here.
I was just
I just
dreaming
about
of
to
the
piss her.
awesome get in
No, no, no.
loser.
I gotta handle some business, but I'm still here. I'm listening, and I'm
Oh,
I'm still on. I'm
Oh
still
God.
on site.
handle
Well,
some business.
yeah,
We got
that's
it.
right.
No,
Yeah.
no, 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 not that kind of business. But I just got to take care of something here. But I'm here. I'm here. Don't worry about me.
I'm just dreaming of the get in loser we're doing butt stuff UFO
Yeah.
abduction icon that I can pump in. Excuse me. So we saw that show a couple weeks later on a Monday night, which is always rough when you want to have a few beers at the metal show. We caught Pentagram. And if you saw the OSMT Frankenstein short that I did on our Instagram page, set to Pentagram, it was Frankenstein and Monster Vet. Bobby, I can't remember his last name off the top of my head, but the lead singer of Pentagram, he's like 74. They should have been like the American Black Sabbath back in the 70s and 80s, but he kind of fucked it up with drugs and, revolving door of band members and all this stuff that never went his way. Well, the guy got clean a few years ago and he got rescued and he's out on the road making probably the best music Pentagram's ever made. He's the video meme that was viral a couple years ago of him just standing on stage during like the middle eight breakdown of the song with his eyes bulging out and just looking
Yeah.
starstruck at the crowd, and so when they
Yeah.
rolled out that particular tune and the place went mad, and I was like, that's pretty legit. We just saw a kick-ass metal show, but it was also a meme come to life, and followed that up. Man, this was the week I ended up getting sick because I just did too much. I think we went to Pentagram Monday night. Did not have too many Coors banquets, but I did have some. And then we went to Coors Field in Denver, where the Rockies play. If anyone out there doesn't know who the Colorado Rockies are, they're sort of like, you know how Harlem Globetrotters had the Washington Generals. So the Rockies
Yeah.
are like the Washington Generals for whichever real MLB team are playing in Denver. So the night we went, there was more Braves fans than anybody there. I'm not a Rockies fan. What I am a fan of is the Coors Suite there, which was pretty epic. And then, yes, if you're wondering, I did have possibly too many Coors banquets that night. And then literally we get home at like 1 a.m. on the party bus, my coworkers and I. I go home, sleep for a few hours, get back up, pick up my best friend, drive right back down to Denver. Had a couple beers and some lunch at Prost Brewing, which shout out Cody Saucier and Andrew Pellegrini. You know what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Prost. And then headed up to Red Rocks, which, if you guys have never been to a show at Red Rocks, it needs to be on your bucket list. That goes for everybody out there. And had the absolute immense pleasure of seeing Jason Isbell on the 400 unit play. So I went from like rockabilly, psychobilly to old school doom metal to modern outlaw country, I guess, in just a couple weeks' time. So needless to say, I was pretty used up when I got home from that one, and I'm glad I didn't have to like pack up a monster truck into the semi and get back on the road after that. But otherwise, it's been a thrash on Bottom Dead Center and the old school Monster Trucks YouTube channel, trying to keep some shows going to you, rescuing just more and more of these old things full of monster truck footage that we thought was forever damaged. And
Mhm.
thanks to not AI, thanks to a mechanical VCR upgrade, saving a lot of these old shows. I even sent you guys a clip the other night of a monster truck we'd
Mhm.
never even seen before.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah,
It was
let's just
Wow.
amazing.
I'm gonna drop that in the show right now. So like we don't have production value here, so I don't have a I'm like, hey Jamie, bring up that clip. Like I don't have that. So yeah, out of the ceiling comes the fucking clip of this truck.
Yeah.
So everybody
Well,
out there, you can help us figure out what the hell this thing is or what it looks
it's
like a giant like
the hard
wasp nest on the bed or something.
it's the hard shell turtle taker truck out of Des
The
Moines, Iowa.
the turtle taker. All right.
It sounds like he says Undertaker, doesn't it?
It was
I
the
just
I
don't
tell you,
Michigan Undertaker or something like that, I think.
that
Yeah,
thing
that's right.
ran in that video. That thing ran. It ran good, ran hard, man. He was
Yeah.
trying.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you were at that show and you saw Bigfoot 4 back out of the trailer and you're like, oh, and then you see Taurus back out of the trailer, like,
Oh.
oh, okay, we know which way this show's going. And then you
Mhm.
see, no disrespect, Alan Turam back out Goliath's Wet Revenge, and you're like, and then you see Pure Energy back out, and you're like, the most notoriety that truck's ever going to get is in 25 years when it's the Raminator ride truck. And then you see this contraption from Michigan back out, apparently, and you're like, oh, what is this? And then the guy starts going rounds, beating up on people. It's pretty
Yeah.
wild. But, anyways, I'm sure some of you sleuths out there, I think Chris Mormanis might have already solved the mystery before he even saw the clip.
Oh,
He's the OSMT CIA. But, anyways, Looker, passing it along to you. We got to finish with Frank, right? Frank's got the best
oh
story
yeah.
above all of
Yeah,
us.
yeah.
So, in
That
in ascending
best for
order of
last.
kick assness, we will step up for me now and go on to Looker and tell us about your throwdown stop that you had here recently.
First off, I want to give a big shout out to your buddy that had that concert venue getting Wiz Khalifa. By the way, second cousin once removed from Mia Khalifa. Didn't know if y'all knew that. Anyways, so
I'm
yeah.
not sure
So,
who this Mia Khalifa is that you speak of, Matt.
she does a thing with a thing,
Mhm.
it's whatever. I don't know, maybe you've heard of her. I feel like she was popular before. She did
I'll
a
just
very
Google her.
patriotic 9/11 crossover thing back in the day.
Crossover. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
it was
just looking her up right. Just go ahead and I'm switching to my
Don't do it.
VPN. I'm going to switch to a
incog
VPN in private mode here.
Do it
yeah,
What?
on
You live in
DuckDuckGo.
Wyoming. This site is blocked. Oh shit. Okay.
you must verify your age. Anyways,
Yeah.
so
All right.
Just
Throwdown
don't do it.
season.
Trust me.
Oh wow, that's a lot. Okay. Anyways,
So, like you said, Throwdown season is in full swing. It feels good. I know I'm a little biased because I work for that company, but feels like that a lot of companies run year round. There's not a whole lot of strictly summer, a little bit of spring, a little bit of fall ones. So Throwdown season feels like a thing. I know the guys that run for us, they're always excited when Throwdown season is upon us because it's going. Most of them leave arenas and stadiums, and now they're on big outdoor tracks where they can let it fly. We had our fourth and fifth shows this past weekend, and it was at Anderson Speedway in Indiana, home of they call the Little 500. It's been a sprint car race that has gone on. This was their 78th year. They had it the week before we were there. They run 500 laps the day before the Indy 500 on this quarter-mile high bank track. It's pretty much Bristol as far as the layout. Not quite as high banked, I believe it's 20 degrees. But they also run the Outlaw figure eight cars, which I honestly want to go see them in person because we were looking at videos and we're like, this is
my
nuts.
God.
Like full on race cars. Like these are not junkers, full on race cars, full throttle through the X of a figure eight. Like, anyways,
I've seen some videos of it. They're like,
able,
they're just like barely trail braking to time it just right. I mean, they're missing each other just by inches.
They're not stopping to avoid a wreck.
Yeah.
But since it was wide enough, the first thing we did was measure the X, and we were wide enough to do figure eight racing with monster trucks. So whenever we have the opportunity, we like to do a track like that. It's just something a little different. And we did it, felt a little bit like a Monster Wars style show because we had all four race lanes were sets of crush cars. We didn't have any blocks to use. So we had a little bit of dirt and a good amount of crush cars. We had a nice couple shows. A couple teams went too tall, shout out, blowing a motor right before he had to go out west to Salinas, California, which that's it, Frank. And right, Frank, that's a great time to blow a motor, wouldn't you say, when you got to drive 2,000 miles? Perfect. Yeah. But no, that team always has spare parts and work ethic unlike any other. So Jerry Beck's crew, they'll get it fixed. It's just one of those things you don't want to have happen. We had a little bit of a weather delay, so we decided to push some things together. You guys know as well as anybody that's been on the behind the curtain at these shows, so to speak. If you get a break in the rain, you want to get the whole show in, but you want to get it fast. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we did intros. We did all 6 trucks, and we did them nose to tail, hot intros over the race lanes. There's a video on Throwdown's Instagram, which Elliot, as he always edits stuff really good. It looked really good. But it's just kind of cool, a little throwback intro of all 6 trucks on under power hitting race lanes. It was a good time. Can't say enough for the Kohler boys, as always, but John Kohler coming up. If you think Chris is good, you're about to get another one just like him. John's in his second full year, and he's looking just like Chris did in his second year. Just no fear, not stupid behind the wheel. You know, kind of starting to hone his craft, so to speak. He won freestyle one day just because he was better, not because anybody else had a rough day, which against Joe Foley, Darren Basil, that's big. That's a big, feat to have happen. So I know we like calling who's going to be the future of this sport. If you don't know who John Kohler is, you will eventually. He's going to be good. But as far as Throwdown, we got busy summer, just like every summer. We got a couple shows this next weekend. Salinas is kind of a joint venture with MTX and Brian Manson. So we got some West Coast trucks out there at the fairgrounds. Last year was a sold out show. It was great to finally have Throwdown out in the West Coast. Brian always does an incredible track, and this was the Salinas Fairgrounds are a big place, so I have no doubt it'll be even bigger and better. And then the week after is Joliet, of course, bucket list show if you've never been to, at the Dirty O, Route 66 Speedway. It'll be a good
funny.
time.
Dirty O came up when I searched Mia Khalifa just now.
Yeah, that's weird, right?
To try and learn who she was.
Yeah. We call that a callback. I was hoping that you might, have picked up what I was putting down, and you did. So,
hey, Matt, I'm still hung up on your hot intro. Did you get in detail about that?
Yeah. Did you make it through the hot intro and enjoy the rest of the festivities, or was the hot intro enough?
I said that, and just right over my head when I said it. I didn't even have any self-awareness.
Okay.
So,
Well, at least
Hey,
at least it went right over your head and didn't hit you in the eye.
I can see the
right.
meeting too. I can see the meeting, Matt. You're gonna, hey guys, we want to do a really hot intro, man. Just whatever you guys can do. Let's hot. Let's make it hot.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, if you want, there's some hot and heavy action going on behind the grandstands. Remember that, Frank? And then cue to me interviewing Frank during pit party. There's nothing like watching 8 dudes just go at it on the front stretch here.
Yes. They're running a train on it, Gary Lee. Like, whoa, Army, you can't say that.
I can't wait to hit that van from the backside.
Yeah.
There's some, I swear, my favorite parts of the shows are things that don't even make it out. And when I was standing next to Frank and Brian Wright, and we hear the track announcer who was doing double duty kind of at West Lab, me and him were kind of going back and forth.
Just a mic in
we're
both
standing
hands.
there, and we hear him say, "There's some hot and heavy action going on behind the grandstands." Just look, and I think Frank's like, "You just heard that, right?"
Come on. What am I? I'm 47, but I feel 16.
Yeah.
Anyways, good times.
We're also elementary with our thinking. We can't help it. I mean, I was sorting and folding laundry last night, getting ready for the week, and I'm watching old US Hot Rod. Yeah, exciting life I live. Hey, at least I was doing it in my own bedroom and not in a truck stop, right? Which that goes for a lot of things in life.
Yeah.
But I'm watching old US Hot Rod shows, and I want to say go back to 1988. I think it was the Denver, truck pull with a couple monster trucks. And if I'm remembering right, Paula Ewan wins the 4-wheel drive pull off. And as Galloway's rambling, they cut to a shot down to Ewan with her husband standing behind her. And he comes up behind her and just kind of like nudges her and like looks in his jacket like he can't find something. And she just like knowingly pulls out a pack of cigarettes, hands them to him, and he goes fishing one out, and then she walks away so the camera will follow her like she knew. And I was like, I told my wife, I was like, oh shit, did you see that? That was so 80s, and I'll rewind it. And my wife was born in the 90s, by the way, so I love reminding her of how old I am. And I play it again, and I start voiceovering it. It's like, hey, baby, good job out there. Hey, you got any smoke? I ain't got no smoke. Yeah, thank you. All right. She's like, don't get it on camera. And then just walks off, the days when you could see the old lady passing off a pack of lung darts to her hubby in the pits at the pulling show,
Absolutely. Yes.
Looker, so how much time did you have to cram that show into? Like, did we get qualifying 2-wheel skills in round 1 of racing all in intros, or how'd you do that?
So, we ended up so the weather actually broke and we were unable to do the whole show. We were going to skip intros and just kind of really run things fast. As you guys know, there's things you can do during a show that will cut a lot of time over the whole thing if you tighten things up. Like, your truck's on the front stretch going back to the pits and your next truck is now already driving out, things like that tighten it up. But we were actually able to run the whole show at a normal pace after we started a little bit late because of some thunder showers, which rain or shine, obviously, but we had some lightning, within eyesight. So we took a little break. And once we came back, the weather just got nicer from there. And we didn't actually have to speed it up. But we were in that rain format mindset going in.
I'm just thinking maybe there's a way you can run, borrow a page out of NHRA's book. Maybe we can go 4 wide on the or 2 pairs on the figure 8 track at the same time.
Yeah, 1 truck on each ramp, and we start them 1 in the X, 1 at the ramp. And Frank, I don't know if you were at this show in Costa Rica. We did intros and wheelie contest in the same. Each truck 1 at a time got sent for intros, 2 wheelie hits, and into their pit stall. That's how we did intros and wheelie contests.
It's funny you say that. I was not there, but I was involved in that because that was brought up. Like they talked about that because they were worried about rain down there. And I was involved in that. And they talked about how it was laid out. And if you do it right, I mean, it can work.
Oh, it was fine.
I mean,
yeah, it was entertaining. It didn't look stupid or like rushed.
no,
Just the first time you saw the truck was when it's going out for wheelies. It worked fine.
When I said get your cameras ready, I meant it. This show has started.
serious.
Oh,
That's
and
awesome.
for anyone out there, I know Kyle, you never went to the show. They go to the nicer stadium now. For anyone that's not familiar with the Costa Rica, the old stadium, the mud. It was outdoor, 4 outdoor shows in the weekend during the rainy season in Costa Rica. The mud was into the wheels of the trucks. Like looking at the side profile of the trucks, the bottom, the rubber part was not visible. It
Hmm.
was into the wheel.
So we're
That was
so Matt, you're talking like USA one Bigfoot Pontiac circa 1985, like
Yes.
running through the mud
yes,
pit, like the mud
yes,
packed in there. Yeah,
yes, yeah. That's what you would get at Costa Rica back
yeah.
about. Geez, it's been 15 years now. Oh my
Dude,
God,
I saw
I just
pictures.
dated
I saw
myself.
pictures and videos of those guys cleaning the trucks. It took days to
Yeah.
get them
Yeah, and
totally clean.
yeah, and on top of that, it's got to go back in the containers to be
Yeah,
inspected at the international border. There
Yeah.
can't be a
right,
drop of
right.
mud on these things.
No, right. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, and
I did
anybody
not.
that,
I
in
yeah,
all seriousness, anybody that's ever been around these things when they're truly muddy, and especially if you've driven or worked on them, they gain weight fast. I
they
mean,
oh
do.
faster
Oh,
yeah,
than all four of us
absolutely.
did when we turned 40. And
Yeah.
that, I can't
yeah,
speak for the Costa Rica show, but that show we had in Denver in 24, I want to say, where Cody was finishing up his Max D driving stint, after
yep,
Tom's deal.
yep,
And oh my God, dude, those trucks couldn't go anywhere. I mean, the
yep.
shocks are
Mm.
riding just above the bump stops because they had
Yes,
so
Yeah,
much weight
yes,
on them.
yeah.
And we had, instead of like tropical rain, we woke up to like 29 degrees and sleet that morning. And of course, Empower Field at Mile High in Denver's, open top football stadium. And by the time the show went off, we had drizzle type sleet type wintry mix, as they would call it, I guess, on the Weather Channel. And my God, dude, it was one of the worst mud baths I've ever seen monster trucks go through. And to the point, Matt, like what you were talking about, obviously soil consistency, and stuff will contribute to whether or not this happens. But the trucks were driving out of the stadium on 5 inches of mud caked all the way around the tire. I mean, the trucks were taller in that sense, but then they were sagging from all the weight. I mean,
yeah,
body panels breaking, not because the truck rolled
Yeah.
over, but because of the weight
hmm
hanging, like tailgates and bedsides, just crazy stuff. But well, Matt, you talk about having a show there in Indiana and doing, some hot stadium style intro action. Frank, it was just a few short days ago, as our listeners are tuning in today, that you had some hot stadium action happening, not behind, but directly in front of 30,000 people in the grandstands in Boise, Idaho. So tell us about your experience with Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live doing their very first stadium show here in the United States.
And for me, Matt or Kyle, it's like um, I'll be honest with you, I hadn't done a stadium or anything that big since 2016. So for me, getting the opportunity to go back in there and doing something like that in that environment, I'm not going to lie to you, the whole thing had a really Las Vegas feel to it because of the way it was set up and as far as the pre-show party and the and just the way they did everything about as far as moving trucks into the venue, and it had a almost like a um, truck parade kind of feel because you had to go a little bit of a distance to get in there. But once we got in there, man, I'll tell you what, it was. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was a little nervous before the show because I haven't done that kind of show in a long time. But I just told myself. You have to you just have to trust yourself in your experience and you look at the track, you're like, okay, this is not bad, this is pretty cool, looks straightforward, but it was still awesome. Like there were car stacks, there were cars in the race lane, and it just took me back like a time warp to stuff that I was so comfortable doing years ago. And then once I got back in there, I'm like, okay, this can be all right. And then got in there, and man, I'll tell you what, the production of that show, the way it was all done. And Kyle and Matt, it was a sold out show. That place holds 30,000 people. There were 30,000, like 30,000 and 32 people in there. And you look around, like from the floor, you looked around, there was not an empty seat. And it just gave me chills to see that, because monster trucks have never been in that stadium at Boise State University. So it was just amazing to be a part of it. And our trucks, I can't say enough about our trucks and the way our guys prepped them. And man, they were right on. They answered the call every time they were asked to start. And that's, you guys know, that's the biggest victory, is if they start every time that they're called to go start, go do an element. And that's that. And people outside the industry don't know how important that is, but that's huge for show flow and everything. And our trucks ran when they were supposed to run and did what they were supposed to do. And somehow or another, in a 15 truck field, I stumbled my way to the final round. I don't know how it happened, but man, I just was trying to be smooth, because it was a big track. And Matt and Kyle, a lot of the Chicago style stuff is in stadiums is tight, so the turns are like a paperclip, right? This was bigger. Like, you almost had to make two turns to get around there. And the dirt consistency was weird. It was very sandy, very dusty. So they watered it a lot. So you had to really pay attention to where they watered. And I did that. And, we nosed in after intros, and I could hear people riding around out there. And just, after my first round of racing against the other Mega Rex, was, by the way, Dylan Bartz is a outstanding driver. Works for Craig, drives the other Mega Rex in the West Coast Tour. Just a great kid, nice guy. 21 years old, and I had to sit with him in the pit party, and people kept asking me if he was my son. I'm like, no, he's not my son.
Great.
But
Fantastic.
we resemble each other very closely, but no, but just it was, yeah, I know, right? But it was a great experience getting to run with the other tour that runs the orange side, or the West Coast tour of Hot Wheels, so to speak. Just great to be around those guys, Craig Christensen, Joe Cipher, all those guys. It was so much fun to be around them. And then as the show went on, a lot of the racing was super close, and the freestyles were good, tandem truck freestyles, which is pretty cool. And the whole thing, I think it was cool. Just the way it was done, the way it was produced, and the fireworks show afterwards was awesome. It just had a really good feel to it, and the crowd was way into it. I know we run for Hot Wheels every week, and it is what it is, but just take a step back from that and just looking at it from just standing up from afar, it was pretty sweet. I think they're onto something, and I think it's going to be good. But and also like I said, the trucks, a couple trucks broke, but that's going to happen. It doesn't matter what you're doing. Any show you go to, you get big obstacles and whatever, and there's some guys that have never ran on that kind of stuff before, which you got to think about, but I took it. I just kind of went back in my notebook and just kind of looked around and just kind of read the room a little bit and said, okay, here's what I need to do. And that's what I tried to do. And it worked out pretty good for us. Bone Shaker, our other truck, broke a champagne. That's going to happen. Kyle, as you could do that jumping over a set of 4 cars.
Oh yeah.
So it's when the champagne decides to quit champagning, it's going to quit champagning. So it is what it is. But man, we made that trek back from Boise, 40-hour ride, and it was just the whole experience. Though I can't say enough about the Hot Wheels team and their operations staff, the dirt crew, and everybody that was out there. It pretty impressive putting that deal together, especially with two tours that none of these 7 trucks at each end that have never ran together, and then you put them together and try to make this event happen, and it all went together flawless, in my opinion. And all the trucks that were team trucks, the Bone Shakers, your Tiger Sharks, and all that, everybody got along. Everybody was forward on the goal of trying to make this work. There was no like, oh, I'm going to outdo you. I'm not going to outdo you. It was none of that. It was all, hey, let's work together. Let's make this the best it can be. And that's what I was most impressed with. So the whole thing, man, I can't say a bad word about it. It was pretty cool. It was really cool to be a part of, and I'm actually proud. I'm proud that I was a part of it, because like I said, there's 30,000 people in that place, and You can fake it. You can say you can make up all this stuff, go all the excuses you want, but to get 30,000 people in a building for a monster truck show, pretty good accomplishment, in my opinion.
Yeah.
No,
And when was the last time an RV was crushed in a stadium?
Oh my God. We might be
Been
talking about
10 years? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's something I like seeing there.
well, that was like a true
Yeah.
RV scatter too. Like it
Yes.
wasn't
Oh, yeah.
hyped up as like a end of the show stunt featuring Sparkle Smash, which
Right.
no shade
Right.
at
No,
Sparkle Smash. My daughter loves it, but yeah, I mean, it's
no.
not like, I mean, they took something that was commonplace at stadium shows for a decade and then made a big stunt out of it, where this was part of the show, and the option was there to hit it, and somebody took that option,
But
which is cool.
Kyle, and what I'm saying too, which makes it even cooler, because just like we've talked about before, the Hot Wheels thing is way different than that other company, So there's a lot of little kids that have never seen a motorhome get ran through by a monster truck.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like you're approaching a whole different group of people that have never seen a monster truck crush cars or hit cars or run over a van. I mean, you're basically moving things back to a whole generation of 4, 5, 6, and 7 year olds.
Yeah.
And when they see that, it blows their mind. And I can't say enough about the pre-show party too, like I brought up earlier, and everybody was just so nice and so excited. And I've never been to a show to where I heard more people say, "This is our first monster truck show ever."
Nice.
I'm like,
That's awesome.
that is amazing. So no, I think it's great, and it just shows that it doesn't matter what promotion company it is. If you come into some place and the monster trucks have never been, and these people come in fired up, they're going to be. And they were fired up during the show too. It was amazing hearing the crowd. Like I hit the car. I could hear the crowd cheering. It's like, and I can't remember the last time I heard that was, shoot, probably 10 years ago. So it just to hear that and just knowing what they were trying to do, it could not, in my opinion, it could not have been a better execution of something like that.
Well, I got to weigh in on this a little bit too, as the true outsider of the three of us. For one last time this season. That's right. It's back. The bag from Dick's makes its final return for the season. Just when you thought it was safe to go looking for
Yep.
bags that didn't say Dick's on it. uh there's been some people saying some really stupid stuff on some of the fan groups
Yep.
about this
Yep.
this Boise show, and I've been biting my tongue patiently while you regale us with tales of this excellent event, Frank. But I
Yeah.
gotta unload on these guys a little bit. So one of the comments I saw, and somebody texted me, and they're like, "Yeah, that guy." He films reels for an air conditioner company or something, and he worked for the company for a short while, and he thinks he knows everything or whatever. I'm like, I really don't care, man. Like, he's talking crap about nobody showing up to it, and then friend of the show Jack Meredith points out, like, yeah, only 30,000 people, no big deal. And this guy gets like chippy with him because he was wrong and Jack was right, and it's like, okay, like, what's your point, man? Like, um so that kind of cracked me up. So you're throwing shade at them for getting a good crowd, and you couldn't figure out that they had a good crowd. You just assumed they didn't have a good crowd. Okay, good job. And then people were complaining about whatever the shape of the racetrack or the number of obstacles there were or whatever. And I'm sitting here thinking, man, the company's been doing big ass stadium shows. The bloodline of that company, Monster Jam now, was built on stadium shows from way back all the way to now, right? So, I
Mhm.
mean, they're the king of
Yeah.
stadium shows.
Hmm.
We get that.
Yep.
What you have here is the latest iteration of a promotion company in the monster truck business trying to break into a bigger venue, and we've seen it before where it didn't work so great, right? And I think there was definitely times where promoters way overstretched their capabilities. I think about like Amp, when they were tried to do a couple shows in the University of Phoenix Stadium.
Hmm.
That's right. Yeah, University of Phoenix in Phoenix, Glendale. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, but it's an online university. I'm so confused.
Yeah.
I need to go to a university to understand what the fuck's going on with the names on this place. Uh,
Yeah.
but and I've been there. I've raced in there. I should know. But anyhow, that those were somewhat ill-fated events, and Checkered Flags tried doing an open air stadium from time to time, and and I'm not
Wake up.
dragging any of these companies. I'm just saying that is there's just the size of the venue. I mean, where you might have been able to do a hockey arena show with hardly any radios to communicate with your staff, you have to have radios at a big building just because it's a big building, right? So like automatically just the infrastructure and the equipment you need in place, from little things like show boxes and radios and chargers and all
Yeah.
the little
Yeah.
knickknack shit to like, oh, I might need, twice the length of extension cord to run for
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
start stop lights, or now we got to rent
Mhm.
dumpsters and just et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So to me, when I see what is basically still an independent promotion company, because I think anything that's not Monster Jam to me is basically independent at this point in monster trucks. That you've got this company that's, and I don't care if it's former, Feld employees or Monster Jam employees or USA employees, whatever, they're bringing a show now to a stadium environment for the first time in the continental United States. um, that's a big undertaking. I mean, the economy kind of is in the shitter right now. Everything's really expensive. People are I'm seeing it in the sales trends across my industry, and I'm seeing it reflected in other industries that people's buying power has tightened and shrunk a little bit. So when you get 30,000 people in a market the size of Boise, and I don't know what the Boise Nampa metro area population is. Let's just say it's the size of Denver. I mean, 30,000 people for your show has to rival the attendance that Monster Jam's gotten at Denver. They've never sold out Denver. Now, granted, Denver's 75,000 or whatever, but I still don't think they've probably put 30,000 in there. So to me, that's brilliant, right? You've done something, you've promoted the event well, you've marketed it well, you've brought a very striking, visually appealing show to the market that was already selling people on buying tickets before they ever had witnessed what you were actually putting out on the table for them to consume. And so then you deliver them a show that you really, really hope is going to be a good event, and it looks like it turned out really nicely. I think all of that is absolutely brilliant. And it's your first crack at it here in the States. Like not everything's going to go perfect. You're merging two separate tours. There's just a lot of variables that are risky to roll the dice on, and they came out I think smelling like roses out of it. The twin truck thing, as far as like the tandem freestyles and stuff goes, we run a freaking YouTube content Instagram party called Old School Monster Trucks, so we like old school stuff. I looked at that show and instantly thought, oh, it's like the late 90s US hot rod type stuff here. And then we got, you know we have a fun but mild track. We've got a variety of colorful trucks. We're tandem freestyling. Like some of that is kind of like a tip of the cap in an old school sense to, maybe those late 90s era shows or things like that. And I'm sure everyone's schedules didn't permit, half the field to go put on totally different identities or different IPs or whatever. And Hot Wheels is trying to, presumably, I'm making a lot of assumptions here, but they're probably trying to stay on brand with what their product is. So if a kid likes Five Alarm, they want him to keep liking Five Alarm. If one of the Five Alarms switches to a truck that Hot Wheels doesn't make a replica of and is really not relatable to that kid and doesn't fit into the motif of the event, it didn't really do any good from a marketing standpoint. So to have two fire trucks or two Bigfoots or two Mega Rexes or, only one snake bite, um, cruising around out there doing stuff, I think that's pretty neat. And we talked, before the show a little bit, Frank. You've got two categories of drivers almost now in the sport. You've got on one side, if you're a team or a driver that mainly does Monster Jam stuff, you probably haven't ran over cars a whole lot, if at all. You've probably never done a non-dirt show. You might not have even done, a hockey arena level show, depending on who you are. But you've gotten big hair and you've worked in these big stadiums and that kind of stuff. So you're part of that well-oiled mechanism. Then you come to Hot Wheels, primarily arena shows, non-dirt shows, crush cars, vans, things that require finesse to get over and to
Hmm.
get through at every show. And now they take you guys, and not everyone has Frank Krimel's experience level, or even an Eric Steinberg that has done probably more outdoor shows or some other car crushes and
Hmm.
things like that. You know, you guys are kind of the seasoned veterans in some respects. Craig, you know, is a seasoned pro. And you've got guys out there, like you said, that they've never drifted around a turn on a big sweeping Chicago style track, or they've not hit an elevated van stack. You know, these things are different to them, and they're now having to learn in front of a live studio audience. They didn't get a Monster Jam University environment to go out and make
No.
mistakes and learn. You're being thrown right into the fire. So I think there's definitely something to be said, you know, for the pressure that both the Hot Wheels organization and all of its staff and that all of you guys as teams and drivers were put under. I think there's something to be said for all that. So for all the people making stupid comments or bitching out there, for one, it's monster trucks. Kids are always going to be our primary audience, right? Somebody had an awesome sick burn to retaliate to some of these guys, and they said something like, "Imagine bitching about Sesame Street being too geared for children and demanding more artistic puppetry from your live events." I think Matt Stoltz might have come up with that. And I was like, that's fucking brilliant, sir. Like, you're right. Like, how dare you appeal to children? Children are the monster truck industry's renewable resource. As long as people keep making kids and need ways to entertain them and engage with parents need to engage with their kids, then monster trucks should always be an available, affordable, you know, visible family activity. And if one out of every 100 kids becomes some kind of hardcore or lifelong monster truck fan, that's a pretty good ratio. And if we can keep them interested in what we're doing, and you see it, Frank, you see it, Matt, there's parents that are our age that grew up going to monster truck shows, and they're bringing their
Hmm.
kids to shows now too. Now I'll end my rant here in just a second because you know, we have to wrap up this part of our special episode. But I will say this much: if I went to a Hot Wheels show when I was, I don't know, 17, then forgive me. I might have had some strong opinions about the level of competition. That's because I was
Yeah.
young and dumb and 17 and get my brain rattled out of my helmet at football practice every afternoon for 3 months in the fall. And I wanted anger and aggression and speed and violence
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff, you know. And I was listening to Rammstein and Slayer, not, you know, Levon Helm, the band, and the Rolling Stones. Well, I've come to appreciate those things more now. And also now as a parent, especially, and I did the research. I took my kids to a Hot Wheels Monster Trucks Live last summer, and my daughters are well mature enough as monster truck fans to recognize the performance and stylistic difference of that show versus others we've been to, but they immensely loved it. You know why? Keyword show. We have to give the people a good, safe, fun
Hmm.
show for their money. And I
Hmm.
looked around me that whole afternoon in Ball Arena in Denver, and all I saw was parents and their kids having a really, really good time. Maybe beer sales were down a little bit that day. Oh darn. But the fun factor was up. So, anyways, you know, backslash in rant. But if you guys want to chime in on that at all, you know, feel free. But that's my opinion, is those guys can take their crappy opinions. We should be celebrating what Hot Wheels is doing, try and lift it up, encourage them to get better. You know, the more interest in what they did is how we get more of this from them. So talking shit on a Facebook group for no good reason is not going to advance the cause of any of this and make anything bigger, better, or louder, or faster, or cooler. So supporting it, I think, and encouraging it is what we need to do. But I'll leave it at that. God dang, I'm thirsty now.
So what I'll say about this, Kyle, is I saw people on social media complaining about the dual truck thing or the two different. But I'm going to look at it logistically. You had one tour coming from Baltimore, one coming from Everett, Washington. There's just no time to do the body swap and throw on different identities. Just no time. But at the same, putting that aside is using the like crew guy or driver or team owner mentality. You look at it this way: you had two Mega Rexes out there at one time racing each other. So if there's little kids out there that love Mega Rex, they're like, oh, there's two Mega Rexes. And if you
Right.
see in freestyle,
Right.
you see two 5 alarms or two Tiger Sharks. They don't know which way to look. They're so fired up because there's two of them. And you got to think of the demographic. They're 4, 5, 6 years old. It's blowing their minds. Like, wait a minute, there's two. I mean, that's the old me would have looked at it like, oh my God, what do we do? We got 16 trucks here. Why can't we have? But then when you look at it this way, it's like it makes total sense. And also logistically, like I said before, there's no way you could get 7 trucks to swap out bodies and do all that in the time that it took the one tour to get from here to there. You can't do that like logistically. So I think it worked out great, and I think seeing tandem trucks out there doing different things on the floor, I think was really cool because when's the last time you've seen that? Probably
Right.
never. I mean, two of the same trucks. I mean, different, but two of the same trucks out there doing different things. I think it was almost like overwhelmed with excitement. Like, you got one Bigfoot jumping this way, you got one Bigfoot over here jumping this way, you got one tiger shark, you got one bone shaker jumping this way, you got one going this way. Like, people don't know where to look, but I think that's good because meanwhile you still have the brand out there, you still have the bone shaker toy truck out there, the life size version of it. You still have that going on, and I don't think you needed to have 17 different trucks out there. I 16. I don't think you needed that. So
Well, hey, and
that's just my opinion.
I look at it from a business standpoint. God forbid that Hot Wheels do a monster truck show and they're paying their people and they're paying their teams and people are making a living and 30,000 people show up and support the event and the venue has staff that need employed. There's security, there's concessions, there's maintenance, there's hospitality, there's ushers. Like I mean, think of the economic impact that that event had just for one night.
Yeah,
Obviously, comparing this to Monster Jam World Finals is not, that's apples to oranges. They're both fruits, but they're not the same. But if monster truck shows up to the biggest, which inarguably is World Finals, if these shows didn't carry an economic impact, then why would you actually literally see cities trying to like sort of bid for, getting and landing
yeah,
events like a World
yeah,
Finals or something? And the Hot
yeah,
Wheels property, I mean, the Hot Wheels brand is more notable to car culture the world over than Monster Jam as a brand name or
Yeah.
yeah,
Bigfoot or
yeah,
Gravedigger. Like Hot
yeah,
Wheels is ubiquitous. It's the crescent wrench of monster truck toys. A crescent wrench is actually an adjustable wrench or an adjustable spanner. Crescent is the brand, that invented it, but we call it a crescent wrench. We call nose tissues Kleenex. We call
Kleenex.
little
Yeah.
toy cars Hot Wheels. And Matchbox has fallen out of that discussion, for the most part in the mainstream. So, I think there's something, really to what they did. I think it's cool that they gave it a shot. It would have been a blast to be there for it, and it's not going to get worse. If they do it again, they undeniably learned things in doing this, and they can get better. I mean, you can't tell me that every dome show that other promoters have done has gone flawlessly, and certainly not their first big full floor dome show like this. Not everything's going to go okay for everybody every time. So from the sound of it, to me, it's it seemed like things went pretty smooth. I kind of like the idea of having like a West Coast Mega Rex and an East Coast Mega Rex having to team up for like a cumulative freestyle score or something like that. I
yeah.
mean, that just offers interesting potential in future events. And there's a lot of these college stadiums where, maybe
Mhm.
Monster Jam's level of competition or mechanical chaos maybe is a little much for a venue like that where I don't want to say restrained but a different show like Hot Wheels that can be tailored to the venue a little bit more. I mean, what's wrong with that? You know what I mean? Like if you can be safe and profitable. Does anybody out there that's bitching about these Hot Wheels shows remember 2020? Because for those of you that make your living in the entertainment sector or your favorite thing in the world is going to live entertainment, that fucking sucked, right? Like I made great money and I never missed a day of work because guess what? I'm part of the food supply chain technically in the beer industry. So we never quit working a day. So I didn't see a lot of disruption. But I know watching all my monster truck buddies parked and having to find other gigs and not getting paid or being on unemployment or getting laid off, from the company and stuff like that, that sucked to watch. So as bad as that was, shouldn't we all be thankful that there's yet another responsible promotion company out here keeping people employed? I don't know. Seems kind of cool to me.
Yeah. Makes total sense.
So I will say, I think these people that are complaining don't realize that, like, how far away we are from that stuff, what they're pining for, that the kids nowadays, they have no, they're not familiar with seeing a truck hit a caravan car at a stadium. That's 20 years ago. It's cool to the target audience. That should be the end of it. And earlier this week, I don't know, I was watching a clip on Instagram, and it made me realize something a little horrifying that all of us will be able to collectively probably groan. So the first thing monster truck wise that I remember following as a kid, like where I knew the trucks, whatever, it was the 89 and 90 TNT series, right?
Mm-hmm.
So picture what that action was like. Now go to World Finals 2, the live pay-per-view. That's a world apart, right? A total world apart. Okay, that was 11 years. So now just picture how big of a difference that was in your mind, and realize that from now going back to World Finals 2 was double the time that it was from TNT series to World Finals 2. And just we don't need to consider, isn't that horrifying when you think about it?
Yeah. Scary, yeah.
It was depressing. Not really. But no, you just need to realize that kids these days, they didn't grow up with like the early World Finals shows. What they're seeing now, it's fine. Stop complaining. And kids go to these shows and they love Fire Alarm. They love the Tiger Shark. Like, they might have, like, one of those trucks is probably their favorite, and they got to see two of them at a time. That's cool. I'm sorry. Like, you don't have to think it's cool for it to be objectively cool that a kid will get enjoyment out of that.
You just got me thinking there. You just got me thinking there, just the random dumb stuff. I think it'd be so fun to do like a live stream commentary for that Hot Wheels stadium show where there was that many trucks, and then just continually get the names close but wrong on every truck, like Fire Escape. Oh, it's Fire Escape and Largefoot coming out to do battle right now, and then Stegosaurus is going to be up at the next, and then we've got, what is this? This the Blue Horse Crusher, I think this is over here. Like, just be totally lost, like just fumbling your way through it. But anyways,
Gary Lee.
yeah, exactly. Like, not since the Indianapolis 500 in 1992 have we seen so much action on a square, rectangular-ish shaped track. All right, well, listen, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight. We're just doing a little bench racing and goofing off and catching up this evening as we send you off into the wild summer months and take our well-deserved, summer season off. We have so much planned for next season. New videos, tons of new videos, fresh rounds of Bottom Dead Center sliding down the bar your way. After the summertime, we've got some great guests that we're lining up, great interviews, new topics. I wish if Jeff Bezos or one of those other guys with gazillions of dollars and rockets shooting into outer space could literally just hand me a couple $1,000,000, I could stop doing my real job and dedicate all my time to old school monster trucks. So if you want more of this, just write your congressman or email Jeff Bezos or somebody and tell them to donate a shit ton of cash to whatever money's being spent on your local political campaigns. Just, they need to divert it to OSMT so I can not do my day job, and then I'll just sling monster truck content your way. But anyways, boys, any parting words before we dive off of here and call it a season 3?
If you're out there and you see a monster truck show in your area, go and support it. That's what keeps the trucks running. It's what keeps the shows going. It's not really begging for money, but at the same time, like, if you don't support the shows with your wallet, they're not gonna keep coming for no reason. Monster trucks and racing in general doesn't just happen on hopes and dreams. It takes money. So don't spend your life savings to go to a show unless you really want to. But if you see there's a show 30, 40 minutes away and you maybe have the free money and your kids like monster trucks, you like monster trucks, go. Maybe buy your favorite team's shirt. Buy some tickets.
Cell phones, Nikes, steak dinners. Who needs any of that shit? Just buy monster truck tickets.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And I couldn't agree more with you, Matt. It's like I've worked for a lot of different people in this business, and uh, as we all know, everybody's connected. Doesn't matter
Yep.
what promotion company it is, what truck owner, what truck name it is. In the grand scheme of stuff, as we talked about in prior episodes, a monster truck's a monster truck. So you have to support them. If you like them, support them. It doesn't matter what level they are, what promotion company they are. Just support it because it's going to help every other monster truck that you care for and like. So buy that shirt, buy that ticket because all it's going to do is extend the life of monster trucks for the next generation and the generation after that.
Sure.
So
right.
when we're all gone, I want my niece and her kids and all these people that I've met over the years, I want their kids to keep enjoying monster trucks. The only way it's going to happen is if people keep going to the shows. Doesn't matter what kind of show it is, just go. Just go.
This is like
Well
the
said.
NBC, the more you know.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, well, listen, that's all for the Bottom Dead Center show here, season 3 on the Old School Monster Trucks YouTube channel. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of our guests we've had this year. Our OSMT and archivists, Matt Stoltz, Justin Mosinger, Chris Mormanis, the excellent tech help that I've received on some video stuff from Nick Davis out on the East Coast this year. One of my fact checker, smart ass idea and snarky comment sources that I love talking to nearly every day, it seems like, Jack Meredith on the West Coast. The support we get from organizations like Monster Truck Throwdown and Hot Wheels Monster Trucks allowing Frank to be a part of what we do, Monster Trucks Limited, and just all the great fans that have followed us on Instagram and on YouTube. Special shout out to the Excalibur, Virginia Giant, and Samson 4x4 accounts over on Instagram. We interact with them a lot over there, and those are, of course, legendary old school names. So why wouldn't we? So shout out to them as well. Get ready. We got a lot coming to you this fall. So dig back into our archives on our YouTube channel. Don't stop looking at Instagram and YouTube though. I'll still have little things coming out here and there through the summer as time permits. So we won't totally abandon you, but Daddy needs a break. So on that note, we'll see you guys in season 4. Cheers.